Hello, hello, hello. What a wonderful, wonderful visitation. Now that you're here, Rev Kathy Kiuna, I want to let you know that you are indeed a woman without limits. And while you're on this channel, I want you to flow down and see. We have all manner of goodies, amazing goodies. So please scroll, and then subscribe. And don't forget to like, Don't forget to comment also. Like really. And then invite your friends. Let them come on this channel. You'll be surprised how many people get saved here, get healed here, delivered and set free. They meet Jesus right here. So this is it. I am Reverend Kathy Kiuna, and I am delighted to be bringing on this program. We've been looking at fathers. And we've been looking, this is a month of fathers. We celebrate Father's Day. And so we just made this entire month a month for fathers. And so we've been bringing amazing, amazing stories on Women Without Limits where fathers are concerned. And we've had so much. Oh my goodness. We've had things like, wow, where men are, where they ought to go, and what's happening. Because we got to get it right. We have to. We have to get it right where men are concerned because they carry seed. Men are too powerful. They cannot be shunned and ignored. No, you don't throw men in a corner. That's why women are crying every day for a man. They cry sleeping and they wake up crying because they want a man. It's very important. And we need the men in our lives, but we need them okay. We need them sober. We need them strong and able because they are leaders. And we brought this man a while back, and he's been, his story is amazing. So today we have brought him back so that we can talk about absentee father and how it is. Today he's come with his son. So I'm going to introduce you to an amazing, amazing, wonderful people that I know will change your life and alter your destiny forever. How many of you remember Njoroge? Njoroge?
Hi everyone.
It's so good to have you on set.
Thank you, Mom.
And you look amazing.
Thank you.
You look wonderful.
Karibu.
Your story makes me cry and laugh all at once. When my husband heard your story, he was like, he has given me a reason to even preach more. Because it's really, really a success story that has been a blessing to many people. And so just before I get on to you, Jack.
Yes, how are you?
How are you?
I'm fine. I'm
so
doing quite
good
well,
to
right?
have you.
Thank you so much.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
And how old are you, Jack?
I'm 19 turning 20 in July. July.
This July?
Yeah.
You'll be 20?
Yeah.
You're coming out of teenage?
Kabisa.
Are you excited about it?
I am actually. I'm really looking forward to what the youth has for me. I'm really waiting to look for it.
Really?
Actually, I'm excited.
Wow. That's wonderful. So before we even go to your dad, I want first and foremost for you to tell us in your own way, in your own language, growing up, how it was like in the beginning when you were with your father, and then you'll tell us what happened after that. We just keep talking, and I believe somebody's going to be helped and enlightened.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I'd like to start by, first of all, thanking my dad and my whole family for they brought us up so well. And actually, it was so exciting at first because where we used to stay, we were that type of family that I can't say perfect, but I'm going to put it in quotes. We were perfect since we went to the best school in our area. We were living in a good house. We had everything. We were being taken to school with a car, you were...
Picked and dropped?
Dropped.
Yeah.
Being dropped in the morning.
Right.
And not just one. There'll be shift overs. Today you'll have this car. The other day you'll have this car. So it was quite all right. Until... It was just amazing, actually. Until when my grandfather passed, when I was in class 5. That's when things changed and took a shift. I don't understand. I don't actually have a recall of how it happened, but it was such an amazing, not actually amazing, it was such a devastating ordeal because we were used to this type of life, and then coming to a shift over where things had to change. You couldn't be, my dad was not able to service with the cars. They could just stay there. He began drinking, shifting away from the family. We used to be so close. I remember whenever he used to come home, I was so excited seeing him. I was like, Daddy, umeniletea nini leo? And me and my sister will run, take off his shoes, his socks. There was just that joy. And
Like take off his shoes and socks?
Yeah, every time he came home.
You loved him like that?
Yeah, we were
You guys were that close?
So close.
Hey!
We were so close. I remember we used to visit, like every weekend we had our visit. Somewhere we'll visit every weekend. So for me, it took a toll on me because I was like, hey, what's really happening?
Because now your grandfather has gone?
Yeah. And especially when he died, that's when things just changed. It didn't actually take over immediately, but there was just that drastic,
change.
Yeah, that drastic change. So he started drinking, and actually before he was drinking, but not what he was now drinking.
It wasn't to that extent.
Exactly.
So he would drink just maybe normal social drinking and then come
during weekends. He used to drink during weekends with his friends, but now he used to drink daily. He reached an extent where he used to drink daily, and not just, there are this expensive alcohol that unakunywa, you're like, unajifeel. The ones he was drinking even changed where he used to drink and joined this these clubs that were just so awkward, and the things that were being served there were just, they call them makali. How they call them?
Makali.
Yeah.
Makali.
Cheap ones. You can have.
Njoroge. Ukaingia makali?
Vile nilisema last time.
Yeah.
Tusker is too expensive.
Yeah.
The brownies are too expensive. So you drop. Because the finances are ailing, unaanza kushuka. Lazima ushuke kwa level ya mfuko yako. Uweze enda kuita John Walker na uwezi toboa toti yake ni 500. Na 500 uko na makuota kama 4. Sasa kuota si pale chini, third generation. Sasa things happen automatically. You don't even know.
Unashuka by force.
By force, by fire. Because you want to get high, na pesa yako ni ngapi?
Haitoshi. So you must go to your class.
40 shillings, unapata tot. That is almost 60% alcohol content.
Right.
Inakugonga. Unalewa the whole day. 40 bob. And tot. Lakini the problem is, ukishaigonga huwezi toka hapo. It's like they were possessed. So you'd rule there, the stories which are there zinakuzubaisha. So unaanza kumiss out. Ipo ndio saa vitu zinaanza kudrop.
So tell me Njoroge, because today I want to really talk with you and your son to hear from both sides on how they were suffering and what you were going through. So at that time, when you're going down and now drinking everything, are you thinking of the way they were removing your shoes?
In fact, no.
Hiyo
inapitwa. As I said last time, once umeanza kukua possessed na alcohol, we called it a demon. It takes over. Inafunika everything else.
So nothing else makes sense. You don't even see
that
the kids are suffering.
Nikifika home, I don't want them. They are bother. They've become now a bother. The pressure ile uko nayo umejiwekea, because unajua ni self-induced pressure. Umejiwekea. Ukikama home utaki kuwaona. So I used to come very early. Lazima wangefanya homework nikiwa hapo. Tuona tukule sapa pamoja. The daughter lalale kwa kifua. Mimi ndio nilikuwa lullaby yake before the transition. So ikabidi sana nianze come late. Ni avoid hao watu, their nuisance, becoming too nuisance. Alafu tena, I'm in that state, I want to be alone. Kuna frustrations zangu. Then when they come, I'll lash out. So I started lashing out at them.
At them?
Yeah. Started lashing out, and then so during the process, sasa ndio division ikaanza pole pole. Because now I'm preoccupied with other things. They are now becoming a bother.
They're becoming a nuisance. They are too much in your space.
They are asking too much. They are talking too much.
You don't want them.
I don't want that.
You prefer those other people
now. Those are the
people
that we are talking, those funny stories that when you get money, I'll do this. When you get money, you'll do this.
You're even saying when you get.
When you get, ifs. A lot of ifs in the conversation in that pub. Alafu you're like longing to go. When even me, I don't understand this. Ukiwa at that state, at that house, you get comfort. When you're there, una pressure, you're smiling, unacheka nini, mayai inakuja, vunja mbili, sausage smoky, pasua. Lakini huwezi fikiria home wanakula. So the little money unabakisha, let's say like 500 unabakisha kwa mfuko. Hutaki kwenda home kuitishwa, what will you do? Kifika kwa hiyo mlango una change, unakuwa lion.
Because the 500 must
Ndio
stay there
wasiitishe,
for tomorrow.
ndio sasa when you are ukikuja kwa umechemuka, si wanarudi down. They fear you now. You create a situation that they will fear you, they will keep off you. Ukiingia watu wote tu
wanatoroka
under bedroom.
So Jack, how are you feeling at that time?
I felt
when you saw the change.
Actually, to just echo what he said, I remember we used to even cook on Sundays. Me and Dad, we just used to cook and tell Mom, you go, we'll cook for Sunday, we'll do everything. To such an I actually used to look forward for Sundays, because on Saturday we'll go out with him, shop for the, those onions and stuff, and then on Sunday we'll cook lunch, come dinner. We used to combine them together. So it was so, I was like, who is this? Is it really happening? Because I was like so shocked. Getting used to something and then having it being changed, it really took a toll on me. I felt so bad. And actually, the way he just said, the way he pushed us away, we were trying to come back, but he kept on pushing us away. And I was like, seems he doesn't
want you.
Yeah, so we also just gave up on him.
How was that making you feel
I remember I used to
as a
cry.
son?
I used to cry on a personal level, because you'll go to school and hear people saying, my dad, my dad, my dad, my dad, those stories. And I was like, I don't have anything to say about that. It actually made me become more close to my mom. I never used to be that close to my mom the way I became that time. So that she was the one who I ended up going to when I needed something. I talk maybe when I'm angry at school and I want homework. And with me, I'm not to brag or anything, but I used to be a high scholar in school. So you'll have these events, maybe your parents are needed, but Daddy's not there to be seen. He's early in the morning, he has gone. He never used to drop us in school. So we will just, because it was
he stopped the dropping.
In the morning, you'll either not find him, or he's in bed asleep, drunk. So you're not waking up. And if you wake him up, he's like,
he's wondering why you would disturb his peace.
Yeah, exactly. So
did you get scared of him?
At a point I did, because of what he used to do. The way he used to maybe talk to my mom. The way, I remember at a time I watched him actually beat they were actually like these physical fights, and I was so shocked. I was like, I didn't sleep that night. I was so shocked. I was just like, and I actually faced him and told him, wachana na mom. And I think, I want to say it from a point of view, I think also that's where he actually developed, there's that feeling he developed with me, because I was so protective of my mom and my sister. My sister was kind of young, so she didn't used to see what was happening. She was just, you go to. You couldn't say she was young, so when these things were happening, she was either asleep, or my sister, she's just that kind of don't care attitude to an extent. So I was the one who was experiencing everything. So I was every time that thing was happening, I was just namkataza. So there was that attitude that developed between me and my dad. I just became so distant with him. I actually didn't want to see him. Because
now you're protecting your mom.
My mom.
You're seeing like he's being so mean to your mom.
Exactly.
And he's not there anyway. So it brought a drift.
A very big one.
And what would that make you feel, like the drift? Seeing like now he did, before he's coming to remove your shoes, but then he became a bother. I'm the
one who brought up the drift, in the sense that I wanted some peace. But initially, I had already taken over. I was everything. So it's like now this work was becoming ikazi imekuwa ni bother. So I didn't sikujua the extent of the drift until later. Because alikuwa nikimuita hakuji. Nikitaka kumwambia kumtuma, if I address him, he'll talk to you, look at the mom. So nikaanza accuse the mom, now amegeuza watoto. Those talks.
They turned against you.
They were turning the children against me.
Yeah.
Little do I know, mindo nimele. Problem mindo nimeleta hii shida. Sasa afu ukienda sasa kukunywa, lazima alcohol is a suppressor. Toka hapo nimechemuka na mama, unafanya nini watoto wewe? So we started even arguing things which are not even there.
Right.
Leta shida kwa nyumba, sasa nikimuona naona wewe unanitajaribu
kututenganisha.
Kwa Kikuyu tuwachagi watoto. Sijui nini. We started arguing on tribal lines. Because my wife is a lawyer.
Yeah.
So unaanza kuona hapana, hizi ni game gani nachezewa. Kienda kwa bar, kunywa na ile hasira sasa una suppress.
Unakuja nyumbani sasa
umewaka.
You
have an agenda. So unapata unaanza kwa day in, day out. Now you're
So the
already
drifting.
derailed out of the railway line.
Right.
Nje,
Then the drifting
things,
inafanyika.
inaenda tu ikifanyika. Reach a point unamaliza hata 1 year bila kubonga.
What?
Tunauliza kama anakuonga kwa nyumba. Siwezi jibiwa because unamtakia nini na mtoto hataki kukuona. Reach a point vile amesema, ilifika mahali nilisimamia. He was in class 7. Class 7.
You were in class 7?
Class 7.
So you stood between him and you.
Class 6 because uko umetoka Wonderland. You are still in class 6.
Ukasimama before
between me and the mom.
Ukamwambia jaribu dad.
Usiwachana na mom.
You know what actually gave me the power to do that? There are fatherly duties that a father should do in the family, like providing and all that stuff. So when he's, drinking, he just for all those responsibilities the pesa haliacha kabisa.
He forsook them, yeah.
So we had to think of a plan on how we are going to survive. So I came up with this idea. I don't know if you know ice.
Yeah.
The 1 shillings.
Yeah.
We came up with that idea and started selling those ice.
You?
Me.
As a kid?
Yeah, we were class. Actually,
So you started playing the role of a
5.
father?
It was in class 5.
You started playing the role of a father?
I remember we used to sell, and God is so good to an extent that, can you imagine from a 1 shilling ice, we used to sell close to almost 5,000 in one day.
Bop, 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 bop.
Just 1 shilling, 1 shilling, 1 shilling, 1 shilling, 1 shilling to 5,000. And during the weekends, when it's a good weekend, 7, close to 10,000.
What?
In a day, yeah.
You? You became an entrepreneur?
God had to do that so that we can survive. Because we didn't have any, my mom didn't have a job. She did. But the alcohol of my dad brought it to a halt. They used to distribute juice, Del Monte, you know it, right?
Yeah.
He used to drink, he used to be the driver of the vehicles. They got accidents after accidents after accidents after accidents. So it was loss after loss. And a business cannot operate with losses. So they had to shut it down. My mom doesn't have a job. He's not providing. We had to think of we have to pay rent.
Plan B.
Yeah, we have to pay rent, school fees, food.
Cool.
We had to come to church. It was far.
Yeah.
So we had to think of it. I don't even know where that plan came from, but ilikuja tu. And the way it started, I don't have a...
I'm liking you more and more even as you talk. Oh. May a boy who is watching just know how to pick up the pieces and do something. So you decided to just become of help.
We saw in our area, we used to be... Because it was a place which was full of kids. And kids like ice. Things that will sell fast.
Yeah.
So we even reached a point where we were even dealing with ice cream, milkshakes. We even order from this place. The company itself, they used to bring the ice cream to us because we were selling so much. We progressed so well. And I was actually so happy about it.
Yeah.
It survived us well until...
2 years? 2 years?
Close to 2 years, yeah. Until it now, trust you me, from 7,000, we sold 50 shillings in one day. The last day that God said, Yoni siku mwisho.
The manna was over.
It was just within a shift. 50 bob na ikaisha hivyo. And that's when my mom and my dad were separating. At that time, luckily, my mom got a job. So God
came in another way.
Exactly.
Right.
My mom got a job. We were able to shift.
Was your mom teaching you how to pray? Were you praying?
We were so prayerful, by the way. And I really thank my mom. At that time, we had just joined this church through my aunt.
Yeah.
She was the one who was coming to this church. So
That's a good aunt. You need to...
So they brought us to this church.
Yeah.
We were so prayerful. She was actually, we actually used to have a company in our home. She was an accountant. We will do this and say, hii pesa inaenda kubuy papers.
Yeah.
This will go and pay the electricity bill. We'll pay, we just used to, tunapanga na yeye, we pray with my sister, with the 3 of us. And it was such a journey because it taught me a lot.
Yeah.
Managing, being responsible. Because actually, whenever I was selling that ice, I wasn't saying atina uza to...
Ndio ufanye. Yeah.
Ilifika time, it was just even fun.
Yeah.
The way that you steal them with candles, it became even fun because it's fun, you're making money. When you see money, you're like, hey, that's nice.
And the money is sustaining.
Exactly.
It's helping you guys to pay rent, to eat, and all that. Are you angry at that time?
I was like, hey, and what made me angry was what my dad was doing with the money at some point. He even stopped going to work and depending on that money to some extent. Hata kama anaenda job, we will not see his money. That money ndo anaiba.
Yani uliwageuka pia.
Si mnachuna. Wameka vibaya.
Ja.
Lo, kasubuhi lazima nichomoe. I'm wondering, niko kwa meza nimekaa, nimeamka saa 9 usiku, usingizi imeisha, nimekaa. Mimi wataki nimguze hizo vitu, mimi bado ni mchafu. Unajua bado sasa I'm not the upkeep the nini tunaitagaje? Clean up. Grooming.
Yeah.
Iko chini. Makucha unapata ni black. So wataki niguza hizo because ni foods.
Utaribu.
So bado niko bitter ile naona these people are not even talking to me. Wiki inaisha. Niko hapo nimekaa, mimi ni mawe. Mimi ni kama makiti. Unajua utakasikia. Niko kwa hao natafuta vile napata tei. Na iko hapa do. Niko kwa bakuli pale. Ile ya chini ile imeparara. So nayo. I'm not stealing even much. 50 bob. Imagine now I'm stealing from them. Nachuna. Na watajua, watakuja kupiga hesabu yao, watachanganikiwa. Because sometimes wanaenda church, they were coming to church, mimi sikuji. Sasa tukawa tumefurugana. Na wachiwa niuze. Hapo sasa si nitapona. Hapo lazima nipone. I'll pay myself. Not much.
Yes.
The most nafikiri nishaichukua na walinote. Kwa 200, ndio. Kwa 200. Ndio walikuja wakapiga hesabu ikakuwa no. So mbili iko wapi? Sasa mama yake sauti juu. Pakistan niko defenseless. Lakini sasa juu niko maji, niko na sauti pia mimi. Sasa si unajua the only thing ilikuwa niko akipiga mdomo na konga. Juu atulie. Sasa
apiga mdomo unapiga ngumi.
Ngona pumla poesa nangu. Ndio at least sasa awache kuni pressure because I'm guilty as charged but I don't want to accept.
Yeah.
Lazima nijidefend.
Yeah. So ulikuwa unachuna.
Nilikuwa nikienda job kunapata zero. Do you know ni kama God alitoa grace yangu ya kuget do.
Yeah.
Akawekea.
Yeah.
Na mimi nikakuwa dependent. Because pia hata huko nje mimi ni omba. So I told you alcohol inakufikishaga mahali. You are looking for ways and means to get more. You are not working.
Yeah.
You're only looking for ways and means to get more.
So you become a beggar.
A beggar.
Yeah.
Anything. Unabeni bebe mzigo ndabeba. Yani you are like kuwa when you can do anything. Because job gari hazikuji. Watu nani anazaletea kalewa gari. The only now people who used to come walikuwa wanajua mtu anataka kunitengenezea gari alikuwa anani book jioni ananiambia Njoroge aje kesho. Mzinga ndio hii. Kama mapema. I will be there by 5. Mungazi.
5 a.m.
5 a.m.
You'll be there.
To repair the vehicle.
Will you drink that day?
No, I will not drink. I will wait I finish. I have one full. Hata saki do. Yeah. One full is enough to cater for that problem at that moment.
Wow.
Hata nilikuwa na most of the customers I was to give them my wife's number. Tuma hii pesa kwa hii namba. Mimi niwachie yangu kidogo. Na hiyo mzinga sumeleta. Tujue sasa tukunywe sasa.
Oh my God.
Alafu unafika mahali at that stage.
Yeah.
You become now a glutton. Utaki kunywa na mtu. Atamaliza. Si umejibaia alone. So you have to hide. Piganisha. So the only option was to flush it.
Quickly.
And carry it in the stomach.
Oh my goodness. So now you are more drunk than ever.
Always
you can't know yourself.
24/7 is drunk.
Drunk. And your son, you are seeing that. Jack, and you're feeling worse by the day.
I was like, who is this?
Are you hating him?
He used to be so smart.
Yeah.
Smartly dressed in the morning.
The way he is right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Then we started like, he didn't even care about whatever he was wearing. Actually, I remember he lost clients because of that. Clients who became family friends. You know, the way you can be doing job for someone, you become family friends, you even visit each other.
Right.
He lost this specifically one, I don't remember the name, vizuri, but we were so close that he lost him, and I was like, akikuja now after alcohol is when he's saying I even lost this friend of mine. I was like, I was so shocked with how he even looked, his appearance. I could not even call him to attend my
anything in school. No, you couldn't. You didn't want.
I prefer my mom more.
Because now your father will be embarrassing.
Exactly.
There are times he would be brought with a wheelbarrow.
I remember seeing that. You know, I never saw that night. My mom came and showed us the picture, like later after some time. Like, is this my dad? Now that is true, he used to even drink, become dirty, come home. Even the odor from the way he used to smell, just you don't even want to be around him.
Even the odor, the devil is a bad devil.
Unanuka kama senge. Unanuka senge unuka. Because the alcohol is not these alcohols are very different. They are alcohols kama senge. This alcohol, it will now ikiingia kwa body yako, it inatafuta. Unajua, I told you mtu wa makali aendani kwa choo haja ndogo. So the body will try to look for where it will come. Don't know watu wa makali sweat a lot.
What do you mean?
So you know the sweating is a part
What do you
of
mean
haja ndogo inatoka wapi na ini. This is spirit. Spirit ukimwaga ina evaporate. So when it enters the body, it is absorbed by the body.
So it dehydrates you.
Yes, immediately.
So you can't.
Wewe itatoka wapi na sio ni upepo. So the kidneys have overworked. They release that to the sweat. The organs have rearranged themselves, as in utakojoa, usweat. Hizo zote ni ways za kutoa dirt from the body. So the only thing the mlevi anatoanga ni sweat. In the process ya kuwa dehydrated. So ile sweat inakuja plus the stench ya jasho, uchafu ya pombe unanuka kama senge.
Wow. And that time you don't know.
Wewe uko sawa.
So when they are running away from you or feeling like, oh my gosh.
I always blame their mother. Sijui kuna stench hapa katikati. Unajua huwezi jifeel ukinuka. Huwezi feel. Hata ukipaka marashi utaambiwa na mtu, hey, you smell nice. Oh, iski. Because ishaingia kwa mapua. Nostrils zako ziko na hiyo. So that was happening. So mimi by the time nakuja kurealize ni hiyo. Ikiingia kwa hao watoto na skata. Pressure.
Unakasirika.
Akikuja sukuma ya nini? Naelekea sukuma ya nini? Ya nini? Na sijatoa pesa ya chakula, but I want meat.
Na umekasirika.
Umekasirika yako yote. So it was just
So you are not caring what is happening with your son, but you're angry, you're upset. Are your grades changing in school?
Actually, they did. As I just told you earlier, I used to perform so good in school, always top, and especially when he started drinking, that that over the working, I didn't have time to study, so I used to like. Nawaza what every time I'm just like this. I remember even every time nashinda nikichapo hivi, and I actually got used to it till today. I'm only sitting like this because I'm just thinking all the time. I never used to study a lot. I didn't finish my KCP with the expected results. Actually, my teachers also questioned me, but they know the story. So yeah, I didn't actually perform well because of how.
Because of the situation. So what about your relationship with your sister and the two of you as siblings? Was it affected by this situation?
To some extent it was, because we were actually so close as I began when we used to remove his shoes. We felt loved. But as I told you, he began having an attitude towards me because of how I used to defend my mom. And my sister never used to do such things. So alikuwa napeleka all the love to my sister. And what will I do? I'll be like, kwani what's wrong with me? Ama ni nini that ka. I will see in my eyes that you love my sister more
than you.
Yeah. So I felt so. I ended up also hating my sister kidogo because I'm like, kwa nini wewe
unapendwa?
And not me.
You're taking that love from me.
I remember to some extent when he came back now after. Na wako umeacha kukunya bado, but after splitting with my mom, there was a time he came to say like hi to us. He stayed with us for 1 week. My sister and I had trips. Like my sister had a trip, for example, on a Thursday, and mine was on next Monday. He didn't have a job, Mark you, but he told my sister one thing: I'll do everything to pay your trip. And trust you me, he paid the trip. But coming Monday, when it was my trip, he just looked me in the eyes and told me sina pesa. So he never knew I went for the trip, but I did. My mom paid for me and I went for the trip. And we were like, keep it a secret. Alikata kukulipia. Sawa, utaenda. And we went.
So, but now you felt bad.
I used to
that
feel
he was
so
favoring
bad.
your sister.
That was a very evident, like, surely it was. I just used to feel so bad about that, especially that ordeal. Because I will imagine, what if my mom didn't have the money? I could have not genuinely gone for the trip. Not that hana pesa. It's in the same week. Alisema hana pesa, but my sister akamlipia. So
it's like you felt anawatenganisha.
Exactly.
You felt that.
I used to
but
feel
meanwhile,
so bad.
you didn't even know. You were just
operating under
the influence.
The influence, and like, unacheka na mimi. If you laugh with me, I will favor you. Huyo ananitolea sura ya kazi. And then if alikuwa nisikii. Alikuwa ananingolea, unajua kungoa. Ngoa nikimuongelesha ananiangalia zile za
kungolea ni aje?
Kuka ni stone face. Anatoa stone face. Anatolea stone face, and then akiniona na jificha. Huyo msichana amesimama hapa anacheka na mimi, so kwa na hiyo. And then sometimes nasema ni automatic because we know fathers love their daughters.
Yes.
And sons love their mothers.
Exactly.
It is like in the world.
It happens like that a lot.
It happens like that. But me, I was so bitter with him because I'm the man. He's the man of the house.
Yeah.
Mama yake.
Yeah.
I was those men
angry.
Aufai kukua nyuma ya mama yako.
Yeah.
Unaenda
You
na
should
baba
be
yako,
with me.
with your daddy. Wewe msichana enda jikoni. Ukienda mama ya. Those were devised roles.
Right.
But I used to have, nilikuwa namchukia. I used to hate him.
You used to hate him?
A lot. I don't know nini. Kana mama yake. Mama mingi wewe.
Oh, man.
To all the men, the fathers, I'm wishing you a happy Father's Day. And remember, you are the man. Be the man. Take charge. Don't be controlled. Control everything by loving them. Don't be a macho man. Tumia kifua. Tumia upendo. And you'll win. And you'll be the happiest man. Cheers.
Oh, man.
I have that notion that mwana kijana akana mama yake sana atapata zile atakuwa mama tabia na hata ataanza kukua na hizo ataanza kuchange
umama tu
change something like, will change the boy in him will be softened.
So you used to feel that.
I also know alikuwa naiona naona this is going to be a disaster in the future. So by the approach I used vitu na the situation at that moment
was wrong.
Yes.
Because you were pushing him further away. You felt like he was pushing you further away than closer to him. Because you see, he's still thinking at that time that you're liking the sister more than him. So within him, there is still that fight of akisipendwi. Oh. So it went on until your father went to rehab. When he was in rehab, were you happy? Did you know?
Actually, personally, I didn't know he was in rehab till we went to visit him in his second month.
Yeah.
That's when my uncle came and told us that your dad is in rehab. Because he had actually come, I told you he had come and to say hi to us when we were staying alone with my mom.
Yeah.
At that time, he was still drunk. So he left while he argued with my mom that night, and he left so bitter. It was just so confusing. Till that day that we were told he was in rehab, that's when I didn't know he was in rehab. Actually, when he came back, I was like, I looked at my mom, I'm like, when ulikuwa napitia hizo zote na you still bring the same. Alafu, you know, when he had come, when he's from rehab, we could give him, like the way he came, he changed. But that time he came and he was still drunk. So I was like, my mom, are you serious? Kwani kilikuwa napitia, is it not anything enough to you?
Yeah.
So actually, I wasn't happy when he came.
Because you were saying like you're going back to the same.
Exactly. And we were at peace at that time. We were so peaceful. I was finishing my class 8 I was in my class 8 that time.
Yeah.
I didn't want any, whatever was happening before, because it actually used to affect me so much. So I was so happy that all that was over. Actually, when they were splitting, I was like, Mom, you want to do this? Let's do it, because we have to put an end to this. We cannot be suffering. My mom used to sleep with knives and a feature, because you never know whatever he used to do with, he could do that night. And there's a kuja.
He uses the knife to cut her.
So we used to hide everything that can harm us. And I didn't want to go back to that. It was just so not okay.
So when he came back, you were still like arm's length, like I'm not sure.
And actually, when they argued that night before he left again, I was like, I knew it. Nilijua tu. It wasn't meant.
Yeah.
This is not the right time he meant to. I knew they will come back, because the way they love each other, I knew they would not separate.
So they were still loving each other.
I know you're growing up seeing the love of your dad. I could not imagine that they will ever separate for good. I knew one day they'll still, but this is not the time.
But you knew they'll come together.
I had a feeling, or I knew they'll this one day.
Yeah.
And this is the day that they came and they're together.
Yeah. So let me ask you. So at the back of your head, you still knew they loved each other. You could see it. So you still loved your wife even at that time? You loved her.
I loved her.
You just were in this situation, but you loved her.
Confused.
Yeah.
That was, I brought some confusion.
But you loved her.
Because from the day one I saw her,
it
will more than love at first sight.
Yeah.
We just
connected
and we started living like tumekuwa tuna push for maybe 2 years, 3 years. We even courted for less than 3 months.
Yeah. Wow.
We got almost 3 months. Yeah. Got on labda once per week, twice hivyo. Na ikakuja tukaanza life.
Yeah.
So, and then I already made a decision. And me, I'm that kind of person who, and I make a decision. I say no is no.
Yeah.
yangu was Chan. I said yes is yes. So I had already made a decision. The lady I will capture ataingia kwa nyumba yangu mpaka kifo. Despite all the bumps that will come, I knew. You know, I had my dad was my friend.
Yeah.
Was my best friend. He used
Your
to take, my
dad?
dad was my best friend.
He was
My best friend. We could talk anything.
with your dad.
Yeah, with my dad. He used to tell me a lot. The do's and the don'ts, the do's and the don'ts. Ruka hii, ruka hii. Even the day I brought my wife to him, he told me, utawezana. Utawezana. Namwambia kwani? Namwambia tuendelee. He encouraged. Hata in their lives, he used to be like, ni mmoja wetu kwa family. Alikuwa na ruhusa ya come home anytime he wanted.
That is why when he passed on, your son
So
was
not
very affected.
Very affected. So with all the advice na zile vitu alikuwa akiniambia, I was armed and I was ready for marriage.
Yeah.
And I knew how to do. And I did it for 10 years.
Yeah.
First 10 years.
Yeah.
She lived like
Was
a queen.
beautiful.
She was
Even
a queen.
he's saying even the first
them,
years were amazing.
they were very amazing.
That's when they were removing your
Yeah,
shoes.
I
and
was
doing
like, you know, when you enter your home and everybody's running towards you.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So,
It's amazing.
But from that to everybody running away from you,
It
that
will
must have
koroga your
been-
head.
Yeah.
It will ache.
For even mental health,
So
that must have really.
That's why I told you, alcohol is a suppressor. When you have a lot of things in your head, many people wanajidanganyanga ukikunywa watasahau. Na it does at a point. Itasongesha tu.
Yeah.
Ile pombe ikishuka inarudi.
Inarudi.
Na
Kwanza
ikirudi
now
na come na force
forcefully.
because the blood, when you pull a blood and release it, it will come with some
It's
force.
looser.
Kinetic energy itaka.
Yeah. Yeah.
So hiyo ilini affect, nilikuwa naanza kuona they are drifting away. Alafu nilikuwa nishakumbuka what my dad had told me. When you start something, you have to finish. Don't start something and stop at the middle. So I was even guilty of myself, like, I started this, I brought these people to life, na nimeshindwa na wow. That's when I saw them in the rehab, when they came to visit me, I was like, out of the many friends I had, these are my people, the ones who have coming to visit me. That's when everything broke.
Everything
The
changed.
yoke broke. And then
Everything.
I realized why I was in that rehab. I was there because of them. So I just made my peace with my God, and everything changed.
Everything changed.
Changed.
Tell me, I want you now in your words to tell us how the change began, especially within you. You are angry, you are upset, you hated your dad, literally. How did it now start turning around? How did the journey begin?
The way now we became back to normal. Okay.
Yeah.
So when we after visiting him in rehab, he stayed another 1 month where now he after rehab, you know, he had nowhere to go. He came back home. At that time I was actually so happy. I don't know where happiness will talk about. I was like, wow, this is actually, our family is coming back. I was really so excited when he came back. I was like, even if I own a job, it's good to have you back. And it's good to have you back the way we know you, the dad I know. Because the other one was not really my dad. I never used to say that was my dad, to be honest. Every time my mom asked me that, I say, yes, Baba, don't even remind me of such.
He cannot be
ordeal.
my dad.
Mm-mm. The last memory of my dad I have is the good times. Period. That's
This
Easy
middle
to-
period, I don't
and I
want.
used to tell my mom, when you're during this period, don't usiwe mkumbusha of the bad things that happened, because it's not it wasn't just it's not acceptable in my mind. Haikuwa.
Yeah.
So when he came, I was joining high school at that time. I remember I didn't have money. My mom didn't have money to take me to high school. So my mom was like, "Wana maza class 8 ni hivyo. You just come, look for your business or anything, just come and stay at home." My dad came. We did all we could, and I joined high school. I passed, and I went to a national school. And God, and I say God is good, I actually got a scholarship for Form 1 to Form 4, because I passed my KCE PE. They paid my fee from Form 1 to Form 4.
Wow.
So my dad, bursary, an executive bursary with
Yeah.
the Nairobi City.
Council.
Top 3 in your school, you get that. So I
You were still top 3. Even upon all that. Hey.
I passed, but not that how I know I should have passed.
Yeah,
you know,
you could have even been better than the top. Are you
trust
serious?
you me, I could.
Oh
And I
my
proved them
gosh.
wrong when I joined high school, because I did all my best I could. So anyways, to cut the story short, let's continue.
Yani, upon all these stories going on, you are still such a sharp kid.
I could not, I don't know, it was just something in me.
Yeah.
I just nilipita na nikaenda high school. So in high school, that's when our life was changing. We moved to a big house. Dad got his job back. He started reviving his job back. Mom got a job. You know, slowly by slowly, we brought our car. Our car was taken to garage. It was so, he couldn't service it, so I drive it, akapeleka garage. So now we brought it back, akaifanyia kazi, now it's back. We were in Aga Khan, by the Aga Khan Primary, just here in Parklands. So it was quite amazing. I went to Kakamega High School. So Form 1,
I'm told it's very, very nice.
it's very nice.
Yeah.
It's really I was actually excited to go to boarding because
Yeah.
I'd never experienced it. It was actually a good experience to experience with my dad because nakumbuka before I went, he told me not the way you were saying his dad was saying do's and don'ts. That's what he told me. He sat me down and told me, you're going to a boarding school far away from us. You know, you've never been there. Definitely there'll be some, how do they call it? Some change.
Yeah.
The
Culture shock.
exactly. Culture shock. So alinieleza everything step by step, of which I know if my mom was there, she could not do that.
Yeah.
I'm very sure, because there are some things that moms can't do that dads are the ones who
That dads can do. So when he told you that, you got confident.
I was so confident. I was even like, wow, I'm going. No, the excitement was I'm going to high school. I
Yeah.
knew I'm not going to high school. And you know, you cannot be given the bursary. The bursary actually, even God did not bring it to our eyes
Yeah.
before,
Yeah.
actually until we put the effort towards going to high school. You know, we put the effort, started buying these boxes, shopping kidogo until because we had, you know, tunakuwa na time nyingi before you join high school, so we could buy, tunasema today we are going to buy a mattress, let's do it and finish and tick and say mattress done. So
In fact, we used to go with him to work
every
with a
day.
list, with a bag. Tukishafika ile ndo tumepata,
Yeah.
tunasema oya, ni ngapi? Tuko na thao. Tunabai nini? Calculate kiwi nini, tick, tunaenda home. Hey mom, this is what
We
we have
bought
about
this.
today. What have you cooked? Tuna sauce kesho yake tena.
Yeah.
We had like 10 days.
It was so, it
From
was
28th of December to
Yeah.
9th of December.
Yeah.
We had 1 week
Of January.
to raise
Uh-huh.
everything, to fill that form,
Right.
everything. Yeah, but God came through. And we went to high school. I was given a car with full tank.
Yeah.
Kajaza kwa dinga. Tukaenda na sister yake Kakamega.
Yeah.
and you know also what God is also good, because she used my mom's job at the time.
Yeah.
Can you imagine, you're just new in the job, but you're actually asking for a loan, because we had to pay. The bursary didn't come immediately when you're joining. It came like
6 months.
6 months after.
Yeah.
We had to look for money to pay the first term's fee. So my mom just went to, confidently, alienda tu kwa the CEO of the company, like, we want this amount.
Yeah.
And she was given without any
Stories.
maswali.
Yeah.
She was given and she was told, sawa, utalipa. And it was just a smooth process. I don't even know how it happened till date. It was just so smooth. Whatever we used to do with my dad, how my mom came in, how we went, how the bursary came, it was just so...
God.
It was
It
God.
was just God weaving everything
Exactly.
in place.
The same way he weaved us to back then, providing for our food and with, you know,
Yeah.
God has ways that he's going to provide for you.
So how did the journey now of forgiveness, had it already now begun?
It had already began.
When he took you to school, were you feeling nice that it's your father taking you?
I was feeling nice because I remember when we were packed in school. It's my dad bringing, you know, that feeling.
Yeah.
It's my dad. It's my dad bringing me. So, and then the things he used to do, those small things actually matter. And then I had told you, he was not my dad. That's what I kept in my mind. Whoever is coming back now, this is your dad. So to some extent, I just prayed and asked God to help me heal from whatever was happening back to me back then. So the process was gradual, yes, but the things he did, those two small, like the way he made efforts for my high school.
Yeah.
It just
mattered a lot. It made such an impact
Exactly.
in your life. And so even as he was dropping you, you were excited that it's your father and the things he was telling you.
And you know that safari is really long, 7 hours. So we just had fun. It was like a road trip. It was so fun, actually.
Were you feeling the same? Were you feeling nice?
In fact, I was boasting. I was boasting. Amekaa nyuma, because in the vehicle you have like a crossover. The way we sit, mom mbele,
Yes.
anakaa hii side, dem anakaa nyuma yangu.
Yeah.
So tuna drive, mi nimeset side mirror that I'm talking
Yeah.
and talking. I'm a talkative guy.
Right.
I can talk like from here to Kakamega. In fact, that's what I did. I talk the whole way. And I'm still driving. I can coordinate. I'm just like that. And I got that from my dad.
Yeah.
My dad even used to be. Now, I was somehow excited.
Yeah.
And then I came back with a motive.
Eh.
Huyu, hapa, tarudi.
You knew it.
I knew this one I have to
So
turn
you
it.
were intentional.
Because these young men,
Yeah.
when they reach now 14 years, 15 years, that's when they need their dads.
Wow.
You can let your son grow until 14. But after 14 years,
He
as a dad,
needs you.
if you don't take charge, then
You've lost him.
hautajamwambia kitu. Atapotea, achukue kona ingine, huwezi mrudisha.
So now you knew.
I knew this is my
the
opportunity. God has given me another chance. And God gives you chances.
Yeah.
Don't waste them. I didn't waste. I took charge.
Yeah.
Hapa sasa, I won't do overboard things. I'll just be
Whatever
myself.
you didn't do.
I will do. But
You're
and
going
then
to do
I will
it.
be myself.
Yeah.
But
You
in
won't
the process,
pretend and act.
I will not act. I will be myself. And bring them back close. Because then I didn't force.
Yeah.
I just
was
came
automatic. Yeah.
Let it come back automatic.
Yeah.
And I prayed. I told God, I want my people back. I want to be the head of this house. I was there. I want to be back.
Yeah.
And God gave me that chance. Why waste the chance?
Why waste the chance? So you now deliberately and intentionally began to show him love.
And yes, that's the word. I engaged him. Forcing conversations. And then I'm wise. I say, I call myself, I'm wise. Mimi mjanja.
Yeah.
Mtu wa mtaani, najua kudeal na watu. Kuja hivi na kama hivi. Ukileta hivi na kona, napiga kona. So nilikuwa najua, huyu ni young man. Bado wako na resentment.
Yeah.
And then I can say in rehab we were taught
Yeah.
how to handle defect of characters. My own defect of character,
Yeah.
how to handle them,
Yeah.
to push them. So I knew my defect of characters is high-tempered, very high-tempered person. So that I would niweke kando because of my children. The daughter nikipandisha pressure ananichekelea hapa naenda. So unajua sasa badala ya kukasirika unapea unabaki ukiche. So I knew my son yeye ni macho ataniangalia. You know he's my son.
Yeah.
He's me.
He's you.
Yeah, I know. So
Even
akiniangalia na angle.
You resemble each other seriously. What?
Akiniangalia na angle, najua huyu ananisize. Because you're sizing me, I'll come this way. So it took time. See ati nikita siku moja.
It took time.
It took time. It took time.
But you were patient.
I knew I have no other thing else to do. This is the firstborn son. Sasa nyingine huko nje ndio huyu firstborn.
Please talk to us, Njoro. You know you are helping somebody who did exactly that. Left the children, left and completely left. And then when they came back, they were proud.
They don't want to.
They don't want to, like me, this is my child. I'm not going to stoop.
You have to.
You have to humble.
Back to her level. His level. Uweze kumu-understand. Now the problem with us men, we don't know our children.
Yeah.
Wewe uko tu hapo, it's just a father figure, you don't know your children. You have to know your children. Akikasirika, akifurahi, lazima umjue. And it's your part as the dad.
To play.
On top of providing, to mold the character. Because you're molding the next generation of men, of man.
Jesus. Hey, that's it now. That's
You
it.
have to mold him.
The next generation.
You have been given this work by God. God has given you this duty as a man to create the next man. God created you with his own hands. You are given a child. You mold him
With
psychologically to place him better in the society.
So that now he becomes a better father, better husband, better. He becomes even better than you.
For the next his generation coming, he will create his own generation. How will he create without a proper foundation?
Yeah.
You are the one to create the foundation.
So Njoro, it doesn't matter how late you are.
Yeah, it's never too late.
You must just wake up and do what you need to do.
It takes time and patience.
Because like he was already showing you an attitude.
Yes.
Because he was angry. So you understood that.
To remove that anger, place something else. It's like alcoholism.
Yeah.
You remove alcoholism from a man, you place Christianity. You place Christ inside.
Christ.
The Holy Spirit. You have to replace. You can't leave a void. If you leave a void, the devil will come
The
back.
devil will come in.
Back. So you have to replace with something else. So it for a man to capture your own son, just needs very simple things. Being there. Akikuita unasema, unasemaje? And be a friend to your child. Mom, when you meet your friends, you talk anything.
Anything.
Oh, it's the same.
Yeah.
He's my son, but he's my friend. You can talk anything. If you borrow money, wewe dadi uko na pesa ngapi? Wewe ni aje? Una ngapi? Hebu nisaidie dhao ndakurudishia, nimeparara tuna. You talk like nimeparara sina ka kitu.
That's how it goes.
In fact, it reached a point nikamwambia mimi ukitaka do kutoka kwangu. If you send your mama, you will not get.
You come to me directly.
Direct, unaogopa?
Yeah.
Unaogopa nini?
Tuongee.
Niambie tu direct. Don't give me batohoho me.
Yeah.
You don't climb mountains. Daddy nisaidie na so.
Yeah.
I have a tendency of asking, wewe utaona. That's enough. Tatoa. Najua hata kama ndanuna ndatoa lakini leo utasema napata nikitoka mtu labda atoka mapema. We emotionally live very early in the morning.
Right.
Mimi hata sasa sijaingia kwa room yake na slide kwa mlango. Mama atalija kuniambia wewe unafanya nakwambia yeye akiamka ataona pesa hapo sialitisha. Siendi kumwamsha pana. But men wengi wanakujaga wanataka hiyo kukuwa king to be served. I was served by them wakinitoa viatu, that was submission. Na inakuwa inalinga in my mind. Baka nilikuwa na ile eager kwenda home. Me I used to come first home, eat, shower
before you go anywhere.
Before I leave the house. Dangoja kadota kalale. Mbia mama yake ni aje tunaenda sijisikii leo sawa. Simu zote chukua kidogo na ID.
Wow.
Nishawacha watu wangu wamela. So after everything that happened, sasa tumerudi. That's where we are.
Right now.
Mimi sitaweza sitanunua kiatu kwanza kama hawa hawajakula. Nanunua ya nini? Wewe shida ukiniambia nimerarukiwa. Bado kuja watu wangu vile wanakaa, utaona mtu wako ameiva. You know, we sit down and discuss what we want in the house.
Is it?
It is not my time to boss around. These are teenagers. My daughter is 16, 17? 17 now. 17. So that's the other day. Last month. This month, May. I think. May.
Yeah.
He's turning 19. Au watu wazima kwa nyumba. 20. He's turning 20. The daughter now is now one who is 17.
Yeah. Ni wazima.
Ni wazima, watu wazima. Tukikaa pale kwa hao. Now we talk. Na in the process, I'm still guiding them.
You're still guiding them.
Jumu ushawaambia, sitaki kukua luka.
How seriously do you take this, your father's leadership now?
Actually, whenever I want to do something, you actually have to involve him in it. Anything. I cannot do a big thing in my life without letting him know. As I told you earlier, I didn't want to bring him to my school events, but when I was in high school, anything that my school needed a parent, he must be there. At least my mom could have job. We say, sawa wewe uko job, but I actually prefer them to be all there, but he must be present.
Your dad must be present.
Kakamega I went.
Every function he must be there.
You were in Kakamega?
Even Corona when it came, hakuna kutembea usiku. Nilikuwa naenda.
Because you must be with your son.
In the morning, I'd see, I'd finish, I come back. Tomorrow niko job. Because even the job is depending on me.
Right.
So lazima niende because I had to take charge. I told my wife, now, you did your part.
Let me take over.
I'm taking over.
Hey, whoa.
And I took over. Every function. Hata nikienda pale mbele, mimi weka hapo na ongeeni hapo, mimi ndio nienda pale kwa form pale. I will do everything.
This boy must know he has a father.
Kwa WhatsApp ya group, sitashinda nikiandika vitu. Wamesema? I will ask the mother because yeye ni mtu simu sana.
Right.
Wamesema nini kwa group ndio ndafuatilia. But anything to do with school. In fact, the 4 years, hata sidhani kama kuna siku nituma madhako akuja peke yake. Kuna.
He came throughout.
Even in my admission in university, he was there.
Now we were not even required to be there. We went there tukapata tukio tumetupa mbao. Lembo is this is an adult. Achukue form apige kona huko finish.
But you wanted to be there.
Tulikaa mpaka jioni, mpaka mapumziko.
Tulirudi nao nyumbani.
So we took charge, tukasema okay babe, twende tutafute kamiti mahali pale tukae tungoje mjamaa ama ajifanyie shughuli bado tuja accept ameshapita beyond our point. Lakini bado is still our son. Tulikaa.
Mulika paka jioni.
Hata saa hii akiniambia the other day alikuwa sijui anaenda wapi hapa KCC. Aliniweka taoni kipigwa na baridi mpaka saa 7 usiku. Ukimngojea turudi naye home. Alikuja akachungulia akaona uko hapo. Now he went and relaxed. Kajapigwa na baridi hapo. Lakini he's not complaining because if I complain, who will do it?
Yeah. Yeah. So now, Njoro, what you're telling us, and Jack, I really, really love the fact that, you know, there are people right now getting so healed, is that it's never late. You can still raise up your child.
Yeah.
You can turn around the bad into
To
good.
good, yeah.
So you can, instead of coming with, you know, fujo, you can actually love your son back into your space.
And you don't force it. You don't push it. With the help of God, just slide.
Slide.
Slide with it. It will all automatically. Because hakuniambia alikuwa ananimiss, but I would see the eyes. The eyes have power. Unamwangalia kwa macho, and then you make your child. Because the most important thing, friendship.
Friendship.
Make your children
Your friend.
your friends.
So you were able to talk about everything.
Anything.
And now you can tell your father anything.
Hakuna kitu nanipitaga.
What? Ukipata ka girlfriend unaona mwambia?
Anajua.
Lazima nijue. Lazima nikague. Sasa leta stone hapo.
Unamwambia?
A lot of challenges these guys are going through. We pass through there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I won't tell him direct.
Yeah.
But I'll beat around the bush, but the point will be home.
He'll get it.
The point.
He'll
Kama saa hii unamwambia tu peumpe.
Yeah.
Oh, sitaki kuanguka saa hii. But there's time for that.
Yeah.
Time is coming. Kama mwambie shida nikwambia, like me and your mom, we are there forever.
Yeah.
Tuko hapa tutakaa, tukosane, tupendane milele.
Sio
time inakama.
Yeah.
So whatever you, as the couple, behave in the house, you are planting a seed.
They are seeing.
They are seeing and you are planting a seed.
Right.
So kama sasa, that incident of, me I'm happy right now because I'm trying to fade, to make that violence side of the relationship to fade in their mind by being there.
Right.
So if there is an issue that is clouding the marriage, you can overpower it by love.
Yes.
Love conquers everything.
Love
Conquers everything.
That
When you
is
love
so
your
powerful.
people,
Yeah.
even
That's
God
it.
loves you times two.
Yes.
Because us as men, we have been given the duty
Yeah. To love.
to head the family. We are not told how.
Yeah.
It's for us to find out how.
Yeah.
But the secret, love.
Yeah.
You love your wife, the children will be loved, and there will be peace in that house.
Amen.
And if there's peace, the blessings are
Everything
coming
is going to come.
automatically.
Everything else is going to fall in place.
In place.
So, Jack, tell us, you're now looking at this camera and you're talking to a young man who is angry, bitter, hateful, and vengeful also. They just want vengeance on their parent because of what they did to them. How would you tell them about forgiveness and where you are right now and what God has done in your life?
Okay, my advice to anyone watching this, experiencing what I went through, is that first you have to accept it. You have to acknowledge what happened to you. Pray about it, and if it's your dad or either your mom, but in this case it's my dad, take him back, take your time and hear him out. Get to know the reason why he went through what he went through and why he's taking this chance to try and build your relationship. And most of all, open arms for them, because you never know what you mean to them. That's what I can say.
Wow. Do you know the most important thing that you ought to know, you who's watching us, is that that's your dad and that's your mom. And you can never exchange them for anything or anyone. No one can take their place. That's your mom, your parent. So forgiveness is power. There is nothing better in life than forgiving. So look at this wonderful young man. He forgave his father, and as a result, they started a journey. Now they are best friends. So it's never too late. Don't give up. Don't throw in the towel. That father may be your next, the one that you need for your next level in life. And Njoro, what are you telling a father that's in the same predicament?
My brother, if you want peace, release yourself. Love your child. That's it, not love with material things. Love from your heart. Make a point of your children to be your friends. Love them and let them be your friends. Something good is going to materialize, and put God first in everything. Any decision you make, or you want a plan you want to do, ask God first. Love your children. Let them be your friends, and something good is going to materialize from there. And I'm telling you from experience, it has. This is now 7 years, and now we are best friends. But there's still battle going on and on, because you're now going the next level. Make your children your friends, and you will see the results. Wow. It won't take long. The results will come.
Wow. Wow. This is so powerful. And especially that it's father and son is so powerful. And especially that there was a disconnect and then there is restoration. Man, may yours too be restored in Jesus' name. Now, Bishop has written amazing books, and there's some we've written together, like our Appointment with Destiny, and there is Think on These Things. He's written volume 1 and volume 2. There is Living in Financial Distinction. There is
Promises.
which one is that?
The Promises.
The Promises Guidebook. Oh, thank you. And there is that one is which one? Read for me.
Anointed for the Marketplace.
Anointed for the Marketplace. Get a hold of these books, eh? God will bless you. And I want you to know that as a man, you're the leader, you're the visionary, you're the man that will guide your family, and you don't know what God has in store for you. So don't give up, irrespective of where you've been and how you started this journey. If you can just allow the Holy Spirit, He's going to help you to become all that you are created to be. May God richly bless you and watch over you. This is Woman Without Limits.
One day I woke up and realized that was no more. My mom and my dad was getting a divorce. Half of us was taken from the village to the city to live with my aunt. Another half of us was taken to another part, a province, to live with another aunt. So the family just got discombobulated. You know,
did that destroy you? What did that do to you as a young boy?
At the time,
yeah.
I did not know I was traumatized. I did not know, because I was the last boy and I was very close to my mom and my dad. And so that tear obviously psychologically and spiritually did some things. Affected me tremendously.
Right.
You know, at that time I would come in at the top of my class in the village. I would be in the newspapers, you know, and stuff like that. And when that happened, I was still smart, still bright, but not on the level, because I would sit in the classroom sometimes and I would want to know what's happening to my mom, because it was a bitter divorce. It was just really bitter. And I was like, where's my mom? Where is she?
You were concerned about her.
Yes.